Vivekananda and his contributions to science, not only to Indian science, even to the global science. This aspect will be dealt in the next few minutes. Now, my respects to any of the monks of the Ramakrishna order, if they are there, to the senior professors, Professor Sitapati, Sripati, Professor Visalakshi, Professor Chandrasekhar, and other professors. My namaskars to you all. My good wishes to the young faculty or young students there over there. My love and affection to all of them. With this, I'll just open my talk with the slides.
Yes.
In the last 15 lectures, I am sure you might have heard much about Swami Vivekananda and his personality, various aspects. So this aspect I will not be dealing much, but still as a reference, I will put my thoughts on him. He is a universal, holistic, unparalleled personality with the combination of Shankara's mind or Einstein's mind also, and Buddha's heart. These three people combined together, I see Swami Vivekananda. And Swami Vivekananda, before going at his science, let us see what is this Indian science and what is its origin. All of you know very well, India is the golden bird once upon a time, where they have contributed significantly for various disciplines to producing Vedanta, Upanishads, Puranas on one side, the other side, in all the scientific fields, they made significant contributions. And this Vedanta and Yoga, Swami Vivekananda has taken as a first yogi from India to Western countries. After getting acquainted with the Vedanta, Schrödinger, a very well-known Nobel laureate, he says, the unity and continuity of Vedanta are reflected in the unity and continuity of the wave mechanics. It is a wonderful thing. But we have to understand what are the abilities of acquiring this knowledge, how they produce such a profound knowledge, even when the science world itself was not there, and even the tools were not available for those people those days. Swami Vivekananda, he says, the goal of mankind is the knowledge, acquisition of the knowledge. But where is this knowledge? This knowledge is inherent. One has to mind that knowledge, that's what Swamiji says. Some of the abilities to acquire this knowledge, or the tools, I would say, fundamentally, are the instinct, logic, reason, and intuition. Instinct, it is inherent for every living being, right from that of the animals, birds, to that of the man, without knowing anything. By the very birth itself, the instinctive type of knowledge will be there through which they operate. Man, when he raises his mind to certain level, higher levels of logic and reason, the whole gamut of the knowledge through five senses, the mind and intellect put together, the knowledge has come. And then there is another faculty when the mind is further rise to a higher level with purity, patience, and perseverance, one gets the intuition. This intuition also gives the knowledge about the object. When we are saying about the intuition is the highest form of intelligence that what the research reveals. Even most of the modern Nobel laureates, Paul O'Brien or Henry Bergson or Roger Sperry, they all acknowledge intuition is one of the basic and fundamental thing of highest form of knowledge acquisition. Let us see what Einstein says, the intuitive mind is the sacred gift and rational mind is the faithful servant. Unfortunately, over a period of time, probably he got in his mind the Indian mind and Indian knowledge that has produced. Unfortunately, in the society, we honored the servant and forgotten the gift of intuition. Now, can we go before calling Swamiji himself as the intuitive scientist? Is there any precedence? If you recall Srinivasa Ramanujan, he is called intuitive mathematician, the man who knew infinity. What he says is that he has not gone in the traditional way of mathematics producing. I have made the special investigation of divergent series in general, and results I got are termed by the local mathematicians as Sartilna. And where this knowledge, again, probably to explain how Srinivasa Ramanujan also has got, it is a big story, but I would say he is the prince of the intuition. Now, if you combine these two things together, on one side, the Western knowledge of logic, reason, instinct, I am deliberately leaving because it is common for everyone. That logic, reason is called phenomenon, as it is knowable by the senses and engineering the external aids and diversification in different knowledge we can acquire. And now, the other type of the knowledge, the ancient Indians, what they got, I call it as noumenon. It is as it is itself, engineering the internal mind, whereas in the phenomena, it is engineering of the external aids, and core unity is in diversity. The very diagram of two sides, it depicts of one side, the eastern side, the other side of the Western thinking in the very early stages. But let me not undermine, both the East as well as the West has used the logic, reason, and intuition in combination. It is nobody's property. It is ever human being property, I would say. Now, these different approaches, if we see the logic, reason, and intuition in scientific solutions, or for that matter, in any of the solutions, if the problem is very, very fundamental, which sits on the border of the philosophy to that of the science, the complexity will be very, very high. When the science, pure science, it comes, of course, the complexity will be there, but it will not be as complex as it is. Just like, for example, the question of the origin of the universe or what is life itself. It is a complex phenomena. For this complex phenomena, the intuition in the shortest time, it gives the holistic answers at a time as a whole. And logic and reason also give the solutions, but they take a little bit of time. Here, some of the youngsters, they must be knowing the scientists. There are different types of scientists are there. Some are purely theoretical. They are called theoretical scientists. The experimental as experimental scientists. Some are empirical scientists. And some are conceptual. They are conceptual scientists. So these different names is not something different. Now, coming back to Swami Vivekananda, all of you would have known by now from the series of the lectures, Swami Vivekananda attained the transcendental knowledge through inward journey, the gnana, what is called the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. In Nirvikalpa Samadhi, he had acquired the knowledge. They acquired the knowledge of oneness of the entire cosmos. There is no differentiation, no demarcation at all. This acquired knowledge, he, through this one, by application of this known knowledge to the unknown external knowledge, the prescience of the externals, vijnana, in the domains of physical, biological, and chemical sciences, there he has made some of the significant remarks, or maybe sutras, I will call them, on which the later 100 years or 125 years of research has vindicated his postulations. I'll go through those things little bit briefly, but not very extensively into those things. And you must also remember Swami Vivekananda laid the foundations of science. Of course, in India, you know it very well, Jamshedji Tata, the IASC, TIFR, BARC, ISRO, how they have grown phenomenally. Similarly, in the West, he inspired Rockefeller. The Rockefeller Foundation has come and Chicago University has come. It is very interesting. In 1907, the very first Nobel Prize to Michelson has come for the velocity of the light. This velocity of light, knowingly or unknowingly, entwined with Vivekananda's scientific postulations. And similarly, Professor Chandrasekhar of India, he got the Nobel Prize when he was a professor at Chicago University. And from the Chicago University, many more Nobel laureates have come. So what I would like to say is that both in India as well as the West, especially America, Swamiji's seeds that are sprouted, they have become a big banyan tree. And this particular thing you can see in the Large Hadron Collider at Geneva, a huge experimentation of all the national scientific communities to find out the fundamental particles of the matter. In that laboratory in front of them, as a token of gratitude, or I would say the love or the recognition, the Nataraja statue has been established. It is a unique feature. When there are so many countries are there. Yes, Indian Nataraja, which represents the yoga or Vedanta, has been put. It is nothing but the representation or a remarkable gratitude or respect paid to the Swami Vivekananda. Now, as I was saying, normally, most of the innovative things, they come from every person has got some knowledge is there, even they write from the child. This knowledge, it may be there in the mind, brain, subconsciously, sometimes coming out consciously. And when the problems are there, immediately it tries to connect the known to the unknown to find the solutions and all the things. Here in the case of Swami Vivekananda, how he made remarkable statements about the science in various domains, not in a particular field, in almost all the domains. He had the fundamental knowledge from Nirvikalpa Samadhi of oneness of the whole universe. This known knowledge, when he went abroad, when he found some of the problems, the then persisting in the Western countries, he applied to them. This application is nothing but through intuition that what he has done. Now, first example I show you is that Swami Vivekananda, 1895, he went at that time. The then concepts were space, time, energy, matter, or separate four parameters. But Swamiji, he felt, no, they cannot be four, they're all one. And in the process, I don't go much into the details. He happened to meet Tesla, and with Tesla, he made extensive discussions, and he explained how all these are four interconnected and how he is envisaging this energy and matter, they are interchangeable in space and time. And then he asked to produce a mathematical equation, how all these converge into a single force, that what he called as force at that time in that language. So what he means is that in space and time, energy and matter are one and the same. That's what Swami Vivekananda's concept of physical sciences. Exactly in 1905, all of you know, Einstein established the grand equation E is equal to mc square, where E is the energy, m is the matter, and c the velocity of the light. As I was telling, the Michelson who got the Nobel Prize for the velocity of light, you see how nicely it got embedded into this one. So Swami Vivekananda's intuitive mind, it was thinking about the energy, matter, space, time, and the fundamental reference point. So this is one of the examples where Swami Vivekananda's concepts prescience I call as the pre-scientific theory or concept has grandiosely proved, and Einstein, you know very well, he got a Nobel Prize. And then I turned to Swamiji on biological sciences. In biological sciences, all of you know very well the Darwin's theory. Darwin is a semi-god, and Darwin's evolution is very well known. Even till today, it is well accepted not only in the biological sciences, even the other fields also evolution. With time in space, the evolution has to take. Yes, that evolution is there. But Swamiji, when he heard about or when he knew what are the limitations of this Darwin theory, he said, the evolution is not the alone. Evolution is always presupposes the involution. Or what he means is that involution and evolution, or they are built in, they are hand in hand. If we see the seed and a plant, the seed is the plant or the tree is evolution out of the seed, and seed is the involution of the plant. So like this, many of the examples can be quoted. So this whole theory of evolution of Darwin has been supplemented, complemented by Swamiji with involution. Now today, in biological sciences, involution theory around that one has been concentrated very well. And the second biggest statement of Darwin is that theory of survival of the fittest and struggle for existence and survival of the fittest. Everyone knows it very well. All the science students, especially even 10th standards, they know this one. But Swami Vivekananda, he says, this probably is correct, but it can may be limited to the animal kingdom. For man, it doesn't apply. By struggle or constant fight, and fittest has not become a Buddha. Buddha has evolved. His consciousness has evolved. And Buddha, by himself, the life that what is there, Buddha is the evolution, and the protoplasm is the involution of that one. And what he said is that this struggle for existence and survival of the fittest at the man level, human kingdom level, should be symbiotic relationship. Symbiosis and cooperation and symbiosis, these are the two words that Swami Vivekananda has used. Where does this stand? If you see Nobel laureate Goodwin, he declares that struggle for existence and survival of the fittest in the biological dynamics, it does not stand. It does not stand. And Darwin himself, he said, for the complex mechanisms of molecular system, if one can find that are existing, probably his theory would fall down automatically. I will not go much into the thing, but what I would concentrate is that the cooperation and symbiosis, whether it has become true. Here, Nicklin and McMahon, two distinguished scientists from Europe, they have made some experimentation. In that experimentation, one cell went inside the other cell. If we apply from the angle of the Darwin's theory, the two cells must fight together, and in the process, one cell was to die. The other cell only will survive because the strongest, mightiest will survive, the other one will die. But to the great surprise of the scientists, what is found is that these two cells, when they are one inside the other, the small cell started giving energy or not taking energy and started releasing the energy to the bigger cell. In the process, the small cell became a dwarf and bigger cell became bigger and bigger. In the process, mitochondria has formed. So what it means is that the cooperation and symbiosis is one of the vital things, even in the life systems. So Darwin's theory probably has to be revisited or being revisited and is extensively studied in the light of Swami Vivekananda's cooperation and symbiosis. A further example I will give you of Swami Vivekananda's vision of cooperation and symbiosis. In 1977, discovered in 1977 and confirmed in 2012, black smokers. These black smokers, the bacteria, exist in symbiotic relationship with other members of the ecosystem. This is nearly very deep inside the earth. There the pressure is very high, the temperatures are very high, oxygen is not available, water is not available, but we feel for life, these two are most important. But without these two, they live in cooperation with the ecosystem. They take some of the materials and then they survive. So this vision of what we see, Naina Sese, Sharda. Now, after saying this one, I just go to the chemistry.
Yeah.
In the chemistry, it is very interesting. In the chemistry, just 1 minute. Sorry, please.
Slide working.
In the chemistry, Swami Vivekananda said, from one element, the rest of all the elements have come. Is it true? Is it true? And if we see the periodic table, there are a large number of elements are there. And there is one element. With the advent of the Nobel laureate Einstein's discovery, which is accepted that the mysterious fundamental element is hydrogen. This hydrogen is nearly 95 to 99% of the entire hydrogen is the first element. The second element is helium, and the rest of all the elements that are followed. So what Swami Vivekananda he has said has come true with the Nobel laureate work of Einstein. So in chemistry too. Now, if you see what is happening in physics, his mind is working on oneness. All the 4 different parameters combined together into one. And in the case of the biology also, if it is only one, where is that? It has to fight with something else for struggle for existence. There is nothing. So that oneness mind is there. And the chemistry also, these elements apparently looking different elements, they are all embedded or evolved out of the one fundamental element that is of hydrogen. If I keep on saying, probably there are many of the things. If time is there, I will revert back. But some of the things in physics, chemistry, biology, we have seen the fundamental knowledge, fundamental basic things, how he attacked. Now, at Almora, he had a vision in 1890. The vision is that he says, I just have passed through one of the greatest moments of my life. Here, under this peepal tree, one of the greatest problems of my life solved. I have found the oneness of microcosm without of the macrocosm. The universe, entire universe is macrocosm. Man perhaps can be called as microcosm. But with reference to man, the bacteria, much further lower, maybe the fundamental microcosm or the single cell microcosm, they lie. The entire life is governed by one principle, that what his vision is. This is a challenge for the scientists. But if we see in a different angle, in 2011, there is a Nobel Prize for Physics recognizing the origin of the macrocosm, the universe, from Big Bang theory. The Big Bang theory, what it says is that some billions of years back, it is a singularity, unimaginably small singularity. This singularity, when it exploded, the time and space started. In time and space, the singularity or the supreme energy has exploded and became the manifested thing of what is the universe. If we look at from the physics angle, what the laws that apply for the universe should also apply to that singularity. Now, actually, this is one of the biggest problem in the classical physics for that of the big bodies and that of the the fundamental particles. This problem I'll come back a little bit later. So the Swamiji's vision of microcosm and macrocosm are governed by the same principle. From one angle, if we see, yes, it is true. But from the fundamental point of view, life point of view, one has to still investigate. And Schrodinger himself, he says, all our physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, all the other laws, they are falling short in defining and exploring what is life. So when that life is known, and that life which exists in single cell, and the life that exists in the universe, the life that exists in the cosmos, probably, maybe one. The day will be a grandiose day for the whole humanity and for that of the scientists. And Swamiji, always the words of what his science looks to be very simple, but they are a profound knowledge is there behind that one. Swamiji, the way he said on theory of relativity, he said something about theory of uncertainty. Theory of uncertainty for that one, he said, suppose a train is going, we want to find how fast it is going. To measure that velocity of that one, there must be one instrument. To calibrate that instrument, there must be one more finer instrument. And for that finer instrument, there must be one more finer instrument. And if we keep on going, probably it will come to the mind. The mind is fundamentally is uncertain. So the whole knowledge of this one is uncertain. Swami Vivekananda is very, very confident. For science, he has said, what the scientists are finding is relative truth. It is never the truth. It is not the absolute truth. Why it is relative truth? The relative truth because today the concepts and the instrumentation, what it says about a particular thing, after some time, the concepts may change, the instruments, their values may be better improved. With that one, a new value may be coming. At that time, we call that one as improved value, but it is a relative truth. That truth with respect to the older truth is the relative truth. So this relative truth and uncertainty, fundamental particles like electron, proton, that of the photons and all these things, whether they are particles or waves, they are uncertain. So Heisenberg, he applied for this and he found the iconic formula theory of uncertainty in 1932. So Swamiji's vision of what he is telling as a simple thing through an illustration of the train, it has become a profound theory which has been proved and it has got the Nobel Prize in 1932. And then I come slightly in a different thing. Swamiji, he has said about the universal mind. He said, we were talking about the relativity theory, and with Tesla, when he was talking, he was saying in space and energy time frame, the energy and matter, they converge and become a force, and that force, what is that? It to disappear, that what we call as the universal mind. Swamiji has coined the word universal mind. This universal mind all the individual minds are interconnected. That what he has said. What is it true? Yes, the Bohm and Pribram, they found the holographic universe. In this holographic universe, what they found is that the universe information, even the hologram, divided into billionth and billionth of the piece of that one, that piece also contains the entire information. So what Swami Vivekananda has said, Swamiji has said, of the one mind contains the knowledge of the entire universe. The Bohm and Pribram, the Nobel laureates, they have found through that one, through the holographic mind of what we call. And then the Scientific American itself, they have devoted very extensively to this holographic mind. And this mind is part of the universal mind in actual communication with the whole world. Now, a lot of research is being done on this one. Still, mind itself, the science, it has not touched anywhere, even the peripheries. What exactly is the mind? What is the composition of the mind? What are the characteristics of the mind? And what is the features of the mind? Mind is uncertain. Mind is uncertain. Now, we are talking about Swamiji was talking about the universal mind, holographic mind, all these things. I leave it to the imagination of the listeners of what he was telling. Now, one more grand theory that Swamiji has proposed, partly it has gone through and partly left to the scientists coming for the future generations. There is a big debate between religion and science. On one side, the religion says it is the creation, the whole universe. On the other side, the scientists say it is the evolution. Swami Vivekananda, he says, it is neither evolution nor creation. It is manifestation. It is manifestation. What is that manifestation? Manifestation of what? What is that fundamental thing? What is the reality behind this entire cosmos? These are the fundamental questions. I'll come and touch this one a little bit later. Again, once again. You see, the quantum particles. As I was telling earlier, a quantum particle, if there is one slit, it will pass through. If you close that one slit and open the second slit, it will go through the second slit. If the scientists try to find through which slit it is going, all of a sudden, they turn into the wave. So these quantum particles, they behave sometimes as particles, sometimes as the energy, matter and energy are interchangeable. Now the scientist has got the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that when he is observing the quantum is changing in reality, its real nature. Is there any consciousness for quantum also? It is a big question mark, whether consciousness is the basic reality or whether consciousness of the observer on the observed is having the problem. If such is the case, the whole universe, the day-to-day life of what we are seeing, is it real? We don't know, because it depends upon the observer's consciousness. For the observer's consciousness, the Supreme Lord, Sri Ramakrishna, he has seen the whole world as one, bubbling with the divine, the consciousness. For the other person, it is some other thing. The same world, the same universe, the same people. For one man, have all the consciousness, the whole thing looks as divine, as one. For the other person, it is something different. Here, I gently, in a little bit humorously, I touch. If we apply the Darwin theory, the whole human kingdom has come from apes. So we are all apes. But Swami Vivekananda, he has said, the same human kingdom, hey, you are Amrita Putrasya, You are the children of the God. You are the children of the God. Maybe the conscious levels of Darwin and that of Swami Vivekananda are different. If this observer is interfering or observing the thing, the way they look at the thing will be different. That's why we say, most of the people, love thy neighbor as thyself. When you love, the whole world will change. Our conscious level will change. But the question is, scientifically speaking, whether this reality of the universe, underlying principle, is it consciousness? It is a big question mark. Now, Swami Vivekananda has raised 130 years back, 135 years back. Now, today, consciousness occupying the central focal plane in scientific community, the observer effect, and as well as that of the consciousness or the most important struggling things. People are breaking their heads. This is where exactly, whether the logic and reason will come or whether the intuition come. Sri Ramakrishna, he has attained the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Holy Mother Sarda Devi, she got the Nirvikalpa Samadhi knowledge, and Swami Vivekananda has got the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. What is this Nirvikalpa Samadhi? The individual mind entangled with the universal mind. It is equivalent to the quantum entanglement. In 2021, they found quantum entanglement. This quantum entanglement is that some billions of kilometers away, one quanta is entangled with this quanta. These two quanta behave exactly the same way. There is one very stunning story is that a twin couple, twins born on the same day, maybe entangled twins. They are born, they look alike, they behave alike. They got married exactly the same day. They got married to two sisters. They are also the twins, and they gave birth to their children on the same day. Whether it is entanglement principle or whether it is coincidence, we don't know. But the entanglement principle is one of the most fascinating things. In quantum entanglement, information communication is there. That is how the quantum computers are coming. Artificial intelligence is coming. Sri Ramakrishna's mind, Swami Vivekananda's mind, entangled with the universal mind. When they entangle, the universal mind has communicated the secret behind the universe, that of oneness. That oneness, whether it is consciousness, yes, scientists we have to wait and see whether they can find out whether it is true. And here, Swamiji has thrown one more big challenge for the scientists, whether consciousness come out of the matter or matter has come out of the consciousness. As per the scientific theories, ultimately, the whole thing reduces to the either energy and matter. If it is matter, where from this consciousness has come, whether matter has produced the consciousness. But Swamiji says matter has evolved from the consciousness because reality is the consciousness. Now, this is one more biggest, toughest problem for the scientists to find out whether consciousness produced matter or matter produced the consciousness. A funny story I will tell you before I conclude in another 2-3 minutes. Is really the universe infinite? One day Swamiji was giving a class. In that one he used finite is infinite, infinite is finite. And one lady got up and asked Swamiji, you are saying on one side finite is finite, infinite is infinite. On the other side you are saying infinite is finite and finite is infinite. How you can say contradicting? Then Swamiji, he says, yes, what I said is correct. Shall I prove you as a scientist? She said, yes. Then he asked to bring one piece of paper, and she brought the paper. He asked her to tear that one into 2 pieces. After doing that, he asked to make it 4. After doing that, he asked her to make it half. And then he said, please kindly go home and keep on making the number of the pieces to half of what they are there in your hand. And then she visualized they will result in trillions and trillions of molecules. Then she fell flat at the feet of Swamiji. Swamiji, yes, this finite paper contains infinite number of particles. Yes, finite is finite, infinite, and infinite is finite. That is how our Purnamata Purnamidam sloka also has come. Now, the question is that whether this intuition has been only for Srinivas Ramanujam and Swami Vivekananda. There was a big research that has taken place, and that research thesis, what was found is that they surveyed all the Nobel laureates. They said 75% of the people, they said, when they are working very intensely, when their mind is contemplated on that one, or when they are relaxing, all of a sudden, a flash has come. You call it as intuition or a soul, a call from the soul. But we got an answer when we applied that one, it became a big theory. You see Archimedes' principle or Einstein's theory or Newton's theory, so many we can say. So this intuition is built in so many places. Even doctors, intuitively they see, look at the patient and give the medicine. And teachers also, intuitively they find the best students and they give the coaching. So this intuition has pervaded. Each and every person has got intuitive power, but we are not aware of that one. If we can consciously be aware of that one, we can make best use of the intuition and produce the best of us. In the years to come, artificial intelligence is going to play in all our robotics, and in artificial intelligence, intuition is going to play a very, very vital role. So now, Ranjan, he has said, Swamiji has given some clues also how to improve your intuition. In this one, the mind engineering, I will say, this mind engineering is nothing but concentration with purity, patience, and perseverance. When these things are developed, the intuitive power will come. From that intuitive power, the rest of the things will follow. So in conclusion, Swami Vivekananda gave reorientation to modern science. The first spiritual scientist I call, scientifically spiritual and spiritually scientific personality. That's why I said he's a universal, unique, unparalleled personality. His science is immortal, and the concept that what he has said, maybe, it reminds me, Swamiji has said, I gave enough to the world, and that 100 years, maybe one more Swamiji has to, Vivekananda has to born to understand the consciousness, the reality of the universe, the man, microcosm, macrocosm, how long it will take. It is left to the imagination of the viewers and the listeners. Thank you all, my dear friends. Thank you very much. It is the other dimension of Swamiji, but how much the youngsters can make use of it, I simply say, I experienced it myself. I practiced this one in my life. In my life, daily, I sit for 20 minutes before I go to the office. And then many of the complex problems, the solutions used to flash, not that day, maybe after a few days. So the majority of the things could be done within the shortest time. If I can do, a village boy, all of you can do. My dear best friends, young friends, thank you very much. Thank you, Ranjan. Thanks to the Ramakrishna Math and Mangalore University, Swami Vivekananda Study Circle for inspiring, igniting the young minds, the future Indians who carry the flag of Bharata Mata for the rest of the world. Thank you all.